Got a mixture of sun and clouds right now, but clouds are starting to build, which means watch out for a few showers, a few rumbles of thunder sparking up here in the next few hours. I'm going to show you that and also look throughout the rest of your work week off into your weekend. Looks pretty wet. That's coming up.
The case involving a teenager accused in another teenager's murder returns to court. We'll show you what happened. And hundreds of students will get to live in new buildings this year on the UK campus. We're getting a sneak peek inside the residence halls.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. Bill Bryan and Barbara Bailey reporting, and here's what's happening at noon. You're going to want to keep your umbrella with you and handy throughout this week.
We have daily rain and storm chances in the forecast. We begin with WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris to tell us what we can expect this afternoon. Micah.
Well, we already see a few blips there on the radar, and a few blips, that's really nothing to worry about, but they're starting to build, and that's what we need to be keeping a close eye out on as we track off through the rest of the afternoon. One just south of Carlisle, heads up. If you're in Carlisle across 32, it's heading your direction in Nicholas County here in just a couple of minutes. One right along that 62 corridor just south of Cynthiana and Sadieville. That should split you guys as it tracks northbound. If not, it actually will clip Cynthiana. So it's just one of those times, and also one up toward Falmouth at this moment, heading toward Butler if you're sitting right along 27. So there are a couple of showers out there, nothing really to write home about at this moment. Clouds are starting to build in. We're in the mid 80s. We'll finish off in the mid to even some upper 80s once we get into the rest of the afternoon. A few storms are in the forecast today, and that's going to be the case as we travel throughout your next few days. However, you get in towards your weekend, it becomes pretty widespread, at least for one of those days. I'm going to show you some new data that's just now coming in from these weather models and see if they have changed from the past couple of days. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, see you then. Thank you.
The case involving a teenager accused of murdering another teenager headed back to court this morning.
Police say 16-year-old Trent Easterling shot and killed 17-year-old Tristan Cole in Mercer County last April. Two other teens have also been charged in the case. WKYT's Hillary Thornton shows us what happened during today's hearing in Harrodsburg in our top story at noon. Hillary?
While Trent Easterling was not inside of the courtroom here in Mercer County Circuit Court, his public defender was in front of the judge asking for a new status hearing date. The 16-year-old is charged with murder and robbery, accused of killing Tristan Cole back in April. Cole's father says the 17-year-old was shot in the back and left to die in a field. His body was discovered in a remote area of Mercer County after he missed a day of classes. Prosecutors say they are still working on collecting and preparing evidence against Easterling for trial. With this magnitude of a case, they say that could take another 3 or so months. Now, there are two others charged in the case, 18-year-old Zachary Lay and Megan Sims. They are charged with tampering with evidence and are both out on bond. Cole's family was inside of the courtroom today. They say they're frustrated after hoping more would happen inside of court today. They say they also were expecting for some family members to get their first look at the teen who is accused of killing their loved one. In Mercer County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And Easterling's next hearing is September 13th. Attorneys say it is unlikely that he will be there because he is in a juvenile facility.
Testimony begins today in the trial of a Lexington man accused of killing his girlfriend. Paris Charles is charged with murdering his girlfriend, Golia Massey, in 2014. Parts of Massey's body later washed up along the Kentucky River in Jessamine and Henry counties. The trial is expected to last about 2 weeks. 4 people charged in 2 murders faced a judge this morning. Anthony Taylor, Kevin Kendall, Wesley Johnson, and Cassandra White were all arraigned in Lee County. State police say the group was involved in the murders of 28-year-old Billy Roark and 36-year-old James Brown. Troopers found Roark's body Friday and Brown's body Saturday. White and Taylor are charged with murder and complicity to murder. Johnson and Kendall are charged with complicity to murder.
A woman has died after a crash in eastern Kentucky. State police say 54-year-old Katrina Little lost control of her pickup on Kentucky 195 in the Lookout community of Pike County yesterday afternoon. The truck hit a bridge, it overturned into a creek, and Little confirmed dead at the scene. Police say she was not wearing a seatbelt. The state of Texas reporting its first death related to the Zika virus. The victim is a baby girl born in the Houston area. She had birth defects, including microcephaly, and died shortly after being born. Health officials believe the baby's mother contracted Zika on a trip to Latin America while she was pregnant. Donald Trump is continuing to lose some support within his own party.
While many Republicans say they can't vote for Trump, he's getting some praise from other members of the GOP. Craig Boswell has today's campaign 2016 headlines.
Donald Trump has lost the vote of another prominent Republican. Senator Susan Collins of Maine wrote in the Washington Post, "I am a lifelong Republican, but Donald Trump does not reflect historical Republican values."
It shows you the breadth of the problem he has in the party. You know, his problems with conservatives in the party have been well documented. This tells you moderates are in revolt as well.
This comes after a group of 50 Republicans signed a letter saying Trump would be the most reckless president in American history. The group includes former directors of the CIA and National Intelligence, plus 2 former Homeland Security secretaries.
These were the people that have been there a long time, Washington establishment people that have been there for a long time. Look at the terrible job they've done.
It wasn't all bad news for Trump. Many Republicans praised the economic plan he unveiled yesterday that includes cutting taxes. But then he took to Twitter and sparked another controversy. Trump tweeted, "Many people are saying that the Iranians killed the scientist who helped the U.S. because of Hillary Clinton's hacked emails." Trump is referring to Shahram Amiri, a nuclear scientist Iran executed after claiming he spied for the U.S. But Iran didn't need to hack emails. Amiri very publicly defected to the U.S. in 2009 before returning home to Iran 1 year later. A Clinton campaign spokesman called out Trump, saying what he really means by "many people are saying" is, "I made this up." Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Clinton's emails are also at the center of a new wrongful death lawsuit from the parents of 2 of the Benghazi victims. Their computer system is working again, but Delta continues to cancel flights because of yesterday's outage. Nearly 250 flights have been canceled so far today. The airline is still trying to keep tens of thousands of passengers who had their flights canceled yesterday. They're trying to take care of them and put them back on track. Delta is offering refunds and $200 in travel vouchers to flyers. We checked with Bluegrass Airport and found so far at least 3 Delta flights have been delayed today.
A lot of frustrations for those trying to get somewhere.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Well, UK showing off its newest residence halls. The school will hold an open house for Holmes Hall and also Boyd Hall later this afternoon.
Pretty swank. We're getting a sneak peek before today's debut. WKYT's Mike Byer shows us the new digs for students in a story that is new at noon.
I'm standing in the courtyard between Holmes Hall and Boyd Hall, the 2 newest additions to the University of Kentucky campus. Both of these brand new dorms will house nearly 1,200 beds, each having its own laundry area. Boyd Hall takes up nearly 200,000 square feet of the campus. The dorm will have many nice features, including 10 study rooms, 5 kitchens, a classroom, and several lounge areas. Holmes Hall is even bigger. It covers nearly 250,000 square feet. The dorm has 11 study rooms, 8 creative art studios, 5 kitchens, and an active learning space. Each dorm has a different flavor to it, but something they both share are spectacular views. University leaders say these brand new dorms will give students a great experience and will help them through their journey at UK.
We believe that living on campus in the Living Learning program provides greater opportunity for students in their GPA and in retention for graduation.
Now students will first step foot into these brand new dorms on Saturday morning. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Times have changed. The community will have the chance to check out the new residence halls from 4 until 6 this evening. It's the final day of freedom for many students across the region. Fayette County, one of the more than a dozen districts heading back to classes tomorrow. The district has 2 new schools this year, Coventry Oak Elementary, that's on Georgetown Road, and Garrett Morgan Elementary off Polo Club Boulevard in the east end of Lexington. We have a full list of school start dates on WKYT.com. Students helping students, how a cosmetology school is helping children put their best foot forward when the new school year gets going.
And terrifying moments at a county fair. We'll tell you about a Ferris wheel accident that injured 3 children.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Rides will be closed at a county fair in Tennessee today after 3 children fell from a Ferris wheel.
That terrifying accident happened last night at the Greene County Fair in Greenville, about an hour northeast of Knoxville. The children were all awake and alert when first responders took them to the hospital. The oldest of the victims, 16 years old. A third-party inspector will have to check the rides before they can reopen. A newspaper report says a slide at a Kansas water park had not been inspected since it opened in 2014. Police say 10-year-old Caleb Schwab suffered a neck injury and died while riding the attraction at the Schlitterbahn Water Park Sunday. The park says safety is a top priority and rides are inspected daily. The park will reopen tomorrow, but that slide will stay closed indefinitely.
5,000 people have been told to evacuate their homes because of a wildfire. Hundreds of firefighters, along with 16 planes, are now battling the massive fire in San Bernardino, California. Plumes of smoke can be seen rolling across the Mojave Desert, all the way over to Las Vegas. People in 375 homes had already been given the order to leave, and now many more are being told to get out ahead of those flames.
Terrifying pictures
there. It really is. All right, heading back to school can be exciting, but it can also be expensive, and a Clark County group is wanting to ease the cost for parents before classes start.
WKYT's Rebecca Smith shows us how they're helping students look their best for free. That story is new at noon.
Right now we're at the cosmetology school in Winchester off the bypass, where they will be conducting free haircuts for kids today and tomorrow until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Clark County students go back to school next week, but Fayette County is back tomorrow. Many students have already started the new school year. Of course, back to school time means getting new clothes and a new haircut. Lessons are also learned for these students of cosmetology.
Some of them come to school here and they want to just help. And so when you see these children come and get their haircut and they've never had a haircut before, they've never even been taught to the way some of the students talk to them before, it lights up their eyes and they're ready to go back to school.
The haircuts here at the cosmetology school on the bypass in Winchester go until 3 o'clock this afternoon as well as tomorrow. Reporting in Winchester, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Thank you, Rebecca. And the school says they typically get 300 students who come by to get free haircuts.
All right, looks good. Well, you can get a chance to see a country music legend perform in Central Kentucky tonight. There she is.
And details on Dolly Parton's concert in Danville just ahead.
It is warm, it is humid. Look at dew points at 75 degrees in northern Kentucky. That is extremely tropical, but that also means if storms go up, that's a lot of rain that's going to fall on out of those. And we'll have that. I'll talk about that throughout the work week and your weekend coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We're getting a couple of blips sparking up across the region. Nothing that's giving us very heavy rain, but you are getting a brief downpour in some spots just north of Columbia. If you go north of the Cumberland Parkway, that's actually heading northbound into Casey County, far western portions of Casey County, but also some showers up north as well. And that's what we're going to be focusing in on right now as they continue to build over Carlisle at this moment across 32, and also working your way up 68 heads up in northern portions of Nicholas County. That's where you're going to be seeing one of these showers roll on through. More than likely, Mount Olivet, it'll actually split you and Flemingsburg. More than likely, if it does clip one of you, I'd lean more toward Mount Olivet than anybody else, and that'll be here in the next 20-30 minutes or so. One heading northbound, yeah, you can get some sprinkles in Cynthiana, but really it stays in between you and Sadieville. And then one about to roll through Falmouth here very shortly. Heads up for that. That's a pretty heavy downpour right there, but it's very brief. There's not a lot of rain out there at this moment. We go throughout the rest of the afternoon. It's going to be kind of the hit and miss nature where some of us get rain and some of us do not. But if you do, trust me on this. We were just talking about how nasty it is today, how sticky it is outside. And really here in the studio, you can actually feel it in the studio how humid it is. But let me tell you this, anything that goes up and becomes a thunderstorm, a lot of heavy rain will come with it. I promise you that. 87 by the rest of the afternoon. Off into the night, things will fade away into tomorrow morning. It's going to be just like, tomorrow's going to be just like today. Start off in the morning hours mainly dry. We head throughout your day and you'll start to see some showers. some thunderstorms spark up. So let's go through it. Here's Wednesday, adding to that rain, going to Friday. We'll stop it at Friday night. Anywhere from ½ an inch to an inch of rain. But remember, these weather models don't pick up on one thunderstorm after another. If it gets into a training effect, boy, you could have 2.62 inches out of that in some locations and then go up toward Lexington, 0.74. That's the way this setup is. A lot of humid air always equals that heavy rainfall when you have those thunderstorms rolling through. Now let's take you off into the weekend. Watch what happens. Yeah, now you're talking 1 to 2 inches of rain in just a short amount of time, 24 hours, 48 hours. So that's when the heaviest rain comes sliding in. It's still for the weekend. I was looking at some latest weather data, and pretty much all signs point to my forecast staying the same. I don't really see that changing that much. Sunday into Monday looks like the best chance at about 60%, and you can see it's going to be a little bit more widespread as we head toward the end of the weekend. But nonetheless, if you have plans on Saturday and Sunday, I know it's only Tuesday, but why not go ahead and plan for that? Looking for a little bit more rain than every other day. It's unfortunate, but it's there, and flash flooding is going to be our main concern again.
So maybe an end to all this after Monday. Maybe,
we're crossing our fingers, hoping to push it out Sunday into Monday. Once it passes through, there's really nothing behind that.
Right.
That's what we need.
Time will tell if something else lines up behind it. We'll see.
Exactly
sure is humid out there right now.
Yes,
you know something's going to give. All right, country music superstar and legend Dolly Parton will pay a visit to Kentucky later today. Parton appears at the Norton Center for the Arts in Danville. This is Parton's largest North American tour in decades and her only stop in Kentucky. The show begins at 7:30 this evening. Tickets are still available. They range in price from $175 to $500. Should be a terrific show. Says she's going to sing some of the old hits through the years and some new songs.
Quite a performer. When she was in Richmond,
right.
I saw her before. Oh man, it'll be a great time.
Yeah, you got to introduce her. I remember that. Yeah,
it was really an honor when Father Jim brought her in. That's right.
Keep it here on WKYT. When we come right back, a Heisman Trophy winner is taking a completely different career path.
And the football Cats already dealing with a setback early in camp. Dave Baker has sports next.
Checking stocks as we head into afternoon trading. The major market indicators are all up at midday.
This morning was the first time the Cats had the full pads on for fall camp, and one of the biggest Wildcat hitters was not there. Defensive lineman Reggie Ment, who Mark Stoops announced yesterday, had left the team for personal reasons. Ment was the leading returning tackler on the D-line with 31 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a sack. You know, the guy's got to say next guy up, but this loss, it hurts.
I think we're gonna be fine. You know, we got guys that are hungry, we got guys that are moving around, and we're gonna be fine. We're gonna compete.
I would say on the field he was a technician for us. He was a guy that you could go in and put him in there, and he's going to do his job, you know, and he was going to have the ability to be able to lead from that standpoint. So I would think that you know, just as a technician.
ESPN releasing the start times for the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Everybody wants to circle this one on their calendars for the upcoming 2016-2017 basketball season. The Cats will play Kansas January 28th in Rupp. It's a 6 o'clock tip-off. You can see it on ESPN. And finally, former NFL quarterback and current ESPN broadcaster Tim Tebow is actively pursuing a career in professional baseball and plans to hold a workout for major league teams later this month. That's according to his agents Jimmy Sexton and Nick Kahn. Now, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that for almost the last year, Tebow has been training in Arizona and Los Angeles to hone his hitting and fielding skills in a sport he's not played full-time since 2005 when he was at Nice High School in Florida. Tebow was an all-state player in Florida that year. As a junior at Nice, he hit .494. A Major League scouting director told ESPN's Jason Stark on Tuesday, quote, 11 years of not playing baseball, nobody can overcome that, end quote. Tebow plans to fulfill his ESPN broadcast commitments. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, Kyle Tucker of SECCountry.com, and the latest from the football Wildcats who put on the pads for the first time today. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. We'll hear from the Cats after this morning's practice a little bit later, guys. But for now, that's a look at sports on this Tuesday.
All right. Well, we'll see if Tebow ends up at the Reds or somewhere.
Very interesting.
It is
and there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Team USA added to its medal haul at the Olympic Games last night. We'll show you some of the highlights.
The Franklin County Sheriff says his deputies are dealing with a very preventable crime. His plea to drivers is coming up at 12:30.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $38 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $67 million.